Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of AWW Talk. I'm Ron Pettendale, sitting always with my partner, Crusher. How you doing tonight,
Heyo,
Crusher?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am ready to talk some wrestling action, especially after the crazy week that I missed. Obviously, the holiday, I missed everything that happened this week. So maybe you could give us a short little recap, Crusher?
There was a lot that happened last week. Oh man. Uh Last week we had Tokyo versus Falcone, where Tokyo ended up getting the win over Falcone. What a great match that one was. Tokyo just had too much might, and I don't think Falcone was ready for it. We had Max Cannon, uh or match two was I'm sorry, Camo versus Keyballs. Max Cannon, Andy Random Hero, and KFC were banned from the ringside for that fight. So it was just that straight one-on-one, no interference. And we saw Keyballs of all people come out with the win there. That was a match of the behemoth. Match three, Shu and Meyer versus Saigon and Killian. Unfortunately, Saigon won, is what I would say if you could actually pull out a win. Uh, we had Shu and Meyer defeat Saigon and Killian.
Nice.
Match four, Final versus Linty. Final ended up getting the win over Linty. We should see him. We should see him a little bit more often.
I agree
Honestly.
with that. That was a good call.
Oh yeah. Then to end it off, Butt Screw got his first AWW win when it mattered most over Dave's Retro Basement, defending AWW as a company. Great job by Butt Screw.
Awesome. And that brings a lot of what I was talking about last week in our show. A lot of the momentum on the side of AWW. These guys might not be able to coexist right now, but with the momentum that they have going in, like, okay, and you got to give it to Team AWW. The momentum they have going in, they're making it work as a team, and this is an oblique team. It is Ace teaming up with one of his enemies. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that's hard to do when you have to try to coexist with someone you dislike, someone that has something that belongs to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, to bring out somebody special, I have brought someone special to the table tonight as our special guest. I want to welcome back to AWW. You guys heard it here first because I'm Ron Pettengale and I'm the best. Ian Quick, welcome to the AWW Talk Show. Welcome back to AWW.
It's a pleasure to be here, everyone.
And as you
Hey,
know,
I feel like I saw you last week. Oh wait.
Ian Quick is one of the commentators on AWW on Friday nights, along with Crusher. He gets a front seat to call all the action. The analyst, he is the guy, the guru. I'd call him a doctor of wrestling, in my opinion, because Ian Quick, in my opinion, is one of the best analysts in the game. Welcome to the show, Ian. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here, sir.
And it's a pleasure to be here, too. This is actually, when I came across this product, I really wanted to be here for one of these episodes, and now we're here.
And this is our first chance to meet each other. So this is really an honor for me. So,
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to talk about this first match. We're going to see Mr. Crimson go one-on-one with the Iceman. And this is going to be an awesome match to start. I know a lot about this Crimson guy. He was around. I know the stories of how he tried to take over AWW, and now he's a talent, part of the Godsman. And he's not a bad talent. He's had matches against Ace, against RWP. He's had his fair share of competitors, in my opinion. Do you think that he can beat the Iceman?
I do believe there's a heavy advantage with Crimson over the Iceman, because if you recall, the Iceman is at a struggle, especially on his partnership with Onyx, his was tag partner. But for the past few weeks, we have been seeing Onyx and Iceman helping each other but with Onyx giving the cold shoulder. And with that, we're not guaranteed for sure if this would continue, if there's a reasonable agreement with one another where Crimson is guaranteed with Shock and Torrance at his side. So you got to take into fact that there is a quantity over even in itself the quality of the fight in a person. The Iceman, you don't knock him down though, because he's a classic. He's a talent. He's old school. But can that measure up against not only Crimson's ability, but the unfortunate advantage that he would have over the Iceman?
Now, and again, the numbers game doesn't lie. The Godsman could be a factor at ringside, but we also know the fighting spirit of the Iceman. Crusher, how do you feel about this?
You know, I've seen Iceman fight quite a few times, and I've seen how Crimson has kind of treated AEW, so I would definitely like to see Iceman come out on top. You know, kind of defend AEW in a way. You know, not as much as like defending against CSX, but it would be a big win if Iceman can help keep AEW's name looking nice.
Would it? And I agree. It would be. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about Turb, one half of the tax collectors, going one-on-one with KX, the emerging KX. As we know, he's changed his name, his whole gimmick, and he has been a phenomenon, in my opinion, coming into AEW. He's very flashy, you know, but so is Turbs, and we've seen it, the strength and the determination of Turbs. How do you guys like this match? We all know that Crusher's favorite wrestler is Turbs.
Oh yeah, you know I like my tax collectors.
Well, it's not only that, but Turbs has proven himself to be quite a formidable singles opponent as well. That's the thing about the tax
100%.
collectors, is that on their own, they own up to what they are as a tag team. And then you got to take into consideration as well, KX, he's still in the rookie era. He's still at that point where he's trying to figure himself up. He's still putting himself in singles title competitions such as the Twitch Championship. So he's really going to need to step up his game if he wants to go even up in the ranks, taking on Turbs. Experience-wise, Turbs has this in the bag, but KX are going to need tricks up his sleeve if he's going to make the win.
Oh yeah, but we definitely can't count KX out just because of that rookie title, because he did have a very good match a few weeks ago where he definitely showed his might.
I'll never doubt
It's
his
going to have to
ability,
be a
that's
match
for sure.
to, yeah, it's going to be one of those matches that, you know, will probably have people on the edge of their seats.
All right, yeah, and speaking of having people on the edge of their seats, we're going to talk about some of Ian Quick's favorite people. Max Cannon's going to go one-on-one with Hunter.
Oh.
You know, I wonder what fish tasted like before Hunter's ex started swimming in it.
Huh.
But by the way,
Jesus.
I'm sorry, as someone who's supposed to be an analyst, as someone who's supposed to analyze these matches, all you can analyze out of KFC matches is, does the Tin Man have a sheet metal cock? And the answer is yes. And them being absolute garbage. Them being a complete stain in AEW, a waste of my viewing time, a waste on the match card. It is an understatement at best. So Max Cannon giving them the time of day, his team giving them the time of day, is giving them streaming time, TV time, so to say. I'm going to put my bets on Max Cannon.
Oh yeah, I have to agree with that. Max Cannon all the way.
And I'm going to third that because I love Max Cannon. You can never take it away from the Filthy One. He is one of the best entertainers in the game, in my personal opinion, and my professional opinion, as a matter of fact.
And I just want to say, I don't think any of us are necessarily counting out Hunter, because Hunter is a very strong wrestler on his own. We've seen him pull his own weight. It's just Max Cannon definitely has the advantage in this match.
The issue with Hunter is association. He chose, him and Kevin Brooks both decided to team up with the most garbage person I've ever seen in my entire life. A trash bag wrestler, so to say.
Do you think Hunter's ever going to get nose surgery to kind of tone it down a little bit?
Waiting for someone to ask that question. I'm sorry.
You know what? Actually, on second thought, maybe it's
He's
just
got
an
a Triple
advantage.
H nose.
Like maybe he can smell his opponents coming even when he's not facing them, and that just gives him a huge advantage.
But how does he not smell KFC from far away? I mean, come on, Keyball smells like fart.
What, you haven't seen him with the
stinks.
clothespin on his nose?
He stinks like fart.
I know, but you haven't seen Hunter with the clothespin on his nose?
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Walking backstage.
Gentlemen, to move on, we're going to get on to the next match, and this is going to be a huge match. It's going to be Tokyo going one-on-one with Schwinn, and as we know, Tokyo, in that triple threat, by the way, Crusher, I believe it was a triple threat to start the night, if I remember correctly.
You
She
talking
was
about last week
victorious
or?
this past week, correct?
No, it was one-on-one with or yes, it was. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's okay. I just wanted to make sure I double checked that, just because I wanted to make sure you were correct too. Like, you know, I got your back, brother.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
To make sure, like, Tokyo fended off two opponents and then made the pin on Falcone. She goes one-on-one with Schwinn, another, in my opinion, emerging wrestler, a person that could be considered world title worthy, maybe. How do you guys feel about this?
Tokyo and Schwinn are in an equal. They're at an impasse here because you got Tokyo being underrated as they come. Tokyo being someone who you, as rarely as you see perform on the cards, impress time and time again, going off against another great amongst the tag team division. And that's something that, one of those matches you don't see every day, and you get to see it this upcoming Friday.
And that's the beauty of AWW. Guys, it's amazing that this content is brought to us, and I love it every week. It gives me a
100%.
job as a wrestling fan, not only as an analyst, as a fan. You gotta love what Wolf brings to the table. You really do. And it's matches like this that we'll get here. Like, in my opinion, matches that should be on a pay-per-view card. But you guys know, if you subscribe and pay that $4.99 or $5.99, you get an up row, front row seat to all the action every week. And it's not bad. It's amazing. Like, the content that's brought is just, and these two amazing commentators that come to your show, that come for your show every week. You know, you couldn't have a better team, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, we definitely try our best, and we're proud to be a part of this.
All right, I don't know the last. The stream's not showing up. There we go. So, main event, we're going to talk about Snack X and Ace going to team up for the first time, going one-on-one with the Real Club. And that, I got to talk about two men that, are they going to coexist? That is the main question, because Snack X has something that Ace wants. And we've all seen this story before. Someone has something they want, they tag together, and they eventually fight because one of them wants to be the guy. One of them wants to have the glory. One of them wants to get the pinfall. And when it comes down to it, how do you know that Ace isn't going to hit Snack X in the back when he's trying to go for the final pin? Or same, vice versa. How are these two going to coexist on a level where they can be in a tag team that's been together as long as the Real Club has?
I got an answer for that, and that's called pride. Not even Snacks and not even Ace. They need to win this match. Snacks is a champion. He is still champion for a reason. Ace wants that championship. He wants to prove that he is ready for the championship match. And they're not going to prove themselves at that case if they lose to the Real Club. Now, not knocking off the Real Club. In fact, total opposite. The Real Club are amongst one of the most coordinated tag teams in the game in AWW. And with those two, you couldn't separate them. You couldn't tear them apart. These two will dominate in the tag team scene. However, they must not underestimate Ace. They must not underestimate Snacks. Snacks is still your AWW World Heavyweight Champion. Ace was a multiple-time champion and still a top contender to face off against Snacks for this. This could go both ways. But if I really wanted to go about it, I think Snacks and Ace may have this advantage as long as they keep their ego at the door. Their pride keeps them from going after each other. They need to work together, even while temporary. They need to work together to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But can they? That's the thing. Can they set aside their egos for one night?
I'm not sure that they can, but hopefully.
And I wouldn't be
hopefully we
doing
see
my
them do
job.
it.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask either one of you that question. Can they set their egos aside to work together to beat a tag team that's been together for 10 plus years?
Here's the way that I look at it. You have two of the biggest headed people in AWW. You have the Iron Ace, who believes that he should, or that he pretty much runs the show, that he should have every single belt he can get a hold of. And you got Snacks, who's more concerned about the money than he is the actual shows. So it's gonna be very impressive to see them put their heads together for once and work side by side.
And for some reason, and here's my question, and Wolf wouldn't pay me the money that he pays me, and I wouldn't have the job that I have if I didn't ask you guys this question. What happens if they can't get along? What happens if the Real Club beat them? How does this affect them going into their match at the Super Show?
Well, I believe the terms is that they have to win the match.
But my
if
point
Ace
is,
wants
how does
title
that
belt
work?
shot.
If they can't get along here, how are they going to get along there is my point. I think I bring up a
they're
valid
not.
point there. If they cannot get along here, and they cannot coexist, and they cannot beat the Real Club here, I don't see them coexisting as a unit at the Super Show at all. I'm sorry. These two need to put their egos aside.
That's
Because
true.
it is about AWW being victorious over anything and showing why we are the best brand in the world.
They treat this Super Show as an end-all be-all, and perhaps that is the case, because you have a battle between two companies. And if this opposite company, this opposing company, beats AWW, what more could it diminish the prestige of the championships, the top contenders, the talent, and everything within AWW? But that's a possibility. You could really make it or break in that situation. You do not want to risk diminishing that title's reputation. So Snacks, needing to realize that, is going to have to put and leave his ego at the door. And I hope for sure that they can. It's all for speculation. My belief as an optimist that he will be able to pull this off. Sorry to the Real Club, Falcone and McCoy, but they're in the right place, but at the wrong time.
Agreed. I mean, if they can get this win, my counterpoint is because and everybody and anybody who's and this is the first time sitting with you at the table, so I don't mean to undermine you, Ian. But my point being is that I believe in a unit as a tag team, and the Real Club is a unit as a tag team. They're brothers. They ridden up and down the roads with one another. These two are teaming together for the first time. How do you beat that? How do you beat people who consider themselves brothers?
This is a challenge for indeed Ace and Snacks, because the Real Club, and I mentioned this earlier and you just mentioned it now, they are a complete unit of a tag team. They are the most coordinated team in the game right now. In fact, the fact that they're not tag team champions at this very moment still comes off as a surprise to me.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that statement. I just believe, and I also believe what you said is also true. They're in the right place, but at the wrong time. They're not competing for tag team championships. They have to compete against. But if they've happened to beat Snack X and Ace, would that be a consideration of why they're not in the tag team championship running?
If they can't beat the former heavyweight champion and the heavyweight champion, then they're going back to the drawing board. And I don't know if McCoy will have the patience for that. I did see him become a little frustrated in between even matches where they've come across as victorious.
I've noticed that as well. Good call. See, that's why they pay you. That's why they pay you well. It's a pleasure to sit with you at this table and pick your brain about these things.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine.
Wolf doesn't
So-
pay us.
Pay me.
Oh,
Hey,
he
look,
didn't tell you?
Pay Ian.
Wait,
didn't tell
what?
you?
You might have to discrepancy that with him off camera, but for right
Hold
now,
up. I've been wanting Taco Bell for months.
Here comes
yeah.
the
Well,
money.
I'm not giving you. Oh, by the way, hey Crusher,
Uh-huh.
what the hell was going on with you Friday night? What the
What do you
hell
mean?
was going on between you and Snacks on Friday night? I want to get the scoop on that right here, right now, because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you.
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Just care not to comment.
I just don't remember.
Well, I don't know the
both-
entire story. I just know that there were shots fired and you two were kind of like not cool with each other for a second. So like I want to see if Crusher is gonna like, come out of retirement and fight Snack X and become the next AWW champion. Come on,
Oh
Crusher.
no, I
Come on,
cannot
Crusher.
wrestle still. I do not have clearance.
You know,
Not to
I'm just
mention
playing.
his
As much
memory
as I would
is
love
bad
to get back into it, I just do not have clearance.
Well, it would be a treat. I assume it would be a treat to see.
Yeah, not to
Um,
mention I would have to re-sign a wrestling contract with Wolf.
Very true. And it looks like we are running really short on time, so I want to thank Ian Quick for joining us here.
Hang
at
on, there's
AWW
something that we
Talk.
forgot to talk about.
What did we forget to talk about?
After the show, we are going to have the Wise Man brand host a conference where everybody is allowed to join and ask them questions that they might have. So that's going to be a very interesting end to AWW for the night.
I'm gonna chime in on that. Why do these dudes deserve any airtime? Haven't they lost the last two weeks? Why do they deserve any airtime at all on our show?
I may have an answer for that. The same reason why the Godsman hasn't been considered for taking over AWW, and it's because the Wise Man brand has already beat them to the punch. They're the number one in a group that's really kept AWW by the throat, has become the mouthpiece that screams in its ear, not only in AWW's ear, but in CSX and all around. They are the most talked about at this point in time. There had been so much controversy and messy, sticky situations that have happened over the past, I want to say, couple months, perhaps. And they've been dead stuck in the center of it.
And they really have. And you got to talk, when you talk about Pat the Wise Man. You got to talk about Hollywood Primo. Whoa, what a talent. What a talent that man is. I don't really like him, but what a talent. You cannot take that away from him.
Yeah, just
then-
sad to see him on the wrong side.
It is. And then we talk about the slimy, scumbag, trash bag, piece of shit, turncoat motherfucking. I can't even talk about him because it just boils my blood so
RWP.
fucking much. The turncoat piece of shit that still gets airtime on our show. Why? Because he's a turncoat? Because he's a piece of shit? Because he's a loser? Because he has to align himself with the other squad in order to get any sort of notoriation from anybody?
Honestly,
Sorry,
you
guys.
really took the words out of my mouth. And honestly, I was just as heated when RWP went and turned his back and completely had us for fools when we
And I
thought
know-
we turned over a new leaf.
And I really know, like, the off-camera stuff between y'all. I know about that. Like, it is what it is, and I know y'all were close. And did you even see it coming? Like, that's the thing. I didn't even see it coming. He had
I
us
don't-
all fooled.
I don't think
Why-
anybody saw it coming. Like Potter comes in, RWP comes in, turns a new leaf, tries to make himself look like a future hero, and then throws it all away just for what? A
Let me
chance
just
at a
throw
bigger
this out
name?
there. Before the one show, like before that show, that very day, before we were on air, before we got into the commentating table, I went and met up with every single talent, shook their hands, regardless of their affiliations and whatnot, because that's what you do in the business. You shake everyone's hand. And I respect everyone as a talent, as a competitor, regardless of how they may act. Just on the, except for, stuff like Alistair and whatnot. You cannot touch, you can't go near those with a 10-foot pole at all. But when I went to RWP, he always had that happy-go-lucky smile on his face. Like he had just seen his brother. He was a brother to me. And it aches my heart to know that that very man whose smiling face had been turned into a glare of grimace, of pure hatred and disgrace amongst all of AWW. And I can't say I'm disappointed. I am upset. I'm still upset to this point because deep down inside, I swear that is my brother in there, behind those eyes. But I don't know.
It's the same guy that just watched two of his best friends tear each other apart, though. I mean, I can't blame him for this psycho change. We all, in my opinion, like, and something I've watched with this guy, like, it could change at the blink of at the snap of a finger, almost.
And
like
something I don't understand. I don't understand that because he had been proving himself time and time and again that he was the better man between Shock and Rat Sex Draven. The fact that those two were going head in on it, refusing to understand one another, and listen, you knew it. Crusher knew it, Jake knew it, I knew it, Wolf knew it, Potter was thrown slap dab in the middle of it. He did not need to be sandwiched between all of this unnecessary, disgusting banter. And at the end of it all, he was just proving that he was just another Jeff Shock, except worse. Because now, and like I said, if it was Jeff Shock joining the Wise Man brand, it would be a completely different story. But it was Potter, it was Ryan W. Potter doing this with no regrets, no second thoughts, no turning back. That was what he did.
Yeah.
Just like he had, like, to the point of like, and I just want to know if it's something Pat's putting in the Kool-Aid that RWP drank, or like what's in it for him. You gotta think of like old school cult leaders, and this Pat the Wise Man claims he has all these people in his group, but we've only seen RWP, someone that turned Hollywood Primo, him, and these two dudes that lost. That's all we've ever seen. He claims he has all these other people in this group.
Well, to be fair, Brett Matthews did take down the Iron Ace. The Iron Ace.
But Brett Matthews also
okay, Crusher, whether you want to, there was some shiesty tactics, but he did it.
I mean, to be fair, we've seen Ace pull some questionable tactics.
Like tossing like multiple people off of a cage?
That and at the elimination match, getting eliminated and then still attacking people.
Yeah,
that's true. We've seen him unprovokedly attack people. Like, I just use this as an example. When RWP was still a good guy, when he was leaving the friggin' building, he was leaving on his own accord and just got attacked by Ace for no reason.
Yeah, and then he attacked 2 security guards. Like,
could one speculate that the reason that RWP has gotten to this point and his motivation is driven off of his beef with Ace?
Might be, but doesn't justify.
I know it doesn't justify. I'm never justifying that in the slightest. Everything I've said has come straight from the heart. But one can understand what the motive is. And RWP has butted heads with Ace for the longest time. To the point that even in the Elimination Chamber match, they went far beyond lines that have ever been crossed. RWP now has protection that one such wrestler has taken down Ace. So in the end, has RWP, like, did he get what he want? Is this what he considers a win?
That's for him to know and for us to speculate.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we'll never know what's going through his head, unfortunately.
Big L.
Ratio plus L.
Plus maidenless.
Plus
Plus
no
no
girlfriend. Plus kind of stinky.
Plus irrelevant. Plus things
Plus
like
who
fart.
even are you? Plus you paid for your verification. Anyways, I think that's a good point to call it.
Absolutely.
When we get to ratioing each other. Yeah, we want to thank you guys so much for watching this week's AWW Talk. My name's Crusher. Your main host, I don't know where he went to, but we had Ian Quick
I'm right
on the
here.
show
I'm
tonight.
sorry. I've
There
been
you go.
laughing. I've been
Okay.
laughing. I'm Ron Pettingale. I want to thank Ian Quick for joining us. He is Crusher. We are out of here. Peace.